Welcome to this webinar where you will learn how to optimize your LinkedIn presence for 250K finance careers. If you want to earn a high-paying salary, this is the LinkedIn training to help you do exactly that. You will learn how to write a fantastic LinkedIn profile and go viral with fantastic articles, exactly what recruiters and hiring managers are looking for in this industry. I've used this successful career strategy for myself and over 200 of my clients across top finance firms, major investment banks, such as HSBC, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, and Citigroup, Credit Suisse, and Deutsche Bank also. I've also been successful personally and training others through career training when it comes to hedge funds, asset managers, and private equity firms, as those you can see on your screen right now. Arrowgrass, Citadel, CVC. So these are top hedge funds, asset managers, and private equity firms. I've been successful there using these exact strategies. Next up, we have other top four management consultancy firms, as you can see here, Deloitte and KPMG. The successful career strategy covered in this webinar will help you get top job offers from these companies and have an excellent professional personal brand to attract those initial opportunities and get invited to job interviews. And I'm here to help over 100,000 of you ambitious high achievers reach your financial freedom. So make sure you click like, click subscribe, click the bell to stay notified. There's tons of more content coming up on this YouTube channel and look forward to that. And we're going to get on with the webinar right now. You can see here my job offer for a role at Goldman Sachs working on the trading floor. And also you can see here at JP Morgan. JP Morgan, I've been successful at getting job offers there and also being invited for interviews, as you can see here. The Goldman Sachs role was working on the trading floor and the JP Morgan role was in the equity derivatives team. So these are major roles, major instances where these strategies have worked successfully. Next up, we have Citi. You can see I have interviews, invites there, also for equity derivative roles. Credit Suisse also received invites for interviews there through using an effective LinkedIn, and I'll explain that to you throughout this webinar. Here's a few disclaimers, have a quick look at that, and we can move on with the great content. Now it's time to level up your career. We're going to take you through this webinar through these 4 specific points to start off with. Now I'm going to go through section 1 where I'll teach you how to write an excellent experience summary for your LinkedIn profile so you can demonstrate your unique skills and talents. Next up in section 2, I'll explain to you how to secure recommendations to boost your LinkedIn profile and build your credibility as a top professional. In section 3, I'll explain to you how to write articles that will help you go viral on LinkedIn and become the center of hot topics in your industry, so you attract the attention from top companies recruiting for people just like you. Next up, on section 4, I will give you the next steps to boost your career, to help you take you to the next level, increase your salary, and leverage your LinkedIn profile and your LinkedIn network to do that. So in this webinar, we're going to cover all of these points, help you secure a salary over 250 grand a year in the finance industry. Let's move forward. In section 1, we're going to start with the LinkedIn Excellent Experience Summary. And what you're going to do in the experience section where you're talking about your work experience at other companies, you need to focus on having relevant, transferable skills. So even if you're applying for an investment banking role, but you haven't worked in investment banking before, you have to talk about relevant, transferable skills. So say you perhaps worked in asset management or even slightly outside the industry for a tech firm, but you have good sales skills. You know how to create presentations, how to interact with clients, how to do financial analysis, maybe through your university degree. All of those things are all of those kind of points is what you should cover throughout your work experience, how you have demonstratable evidence of relevant skills that you can apply to the jobs you're actually pursuing, for example, investment banking. So take those experiences you already have at different companies and make sure you mention all the relevant transferable skills so you can use it in your application moving forward. Now, we're going to go through this in a lot more detail now. So what should you include in your experience summary when you're writing about your work experience? You should focus on specific areas, and the focus areas would be what specific tasks you did and what these were. What tasks were you assigned in that job role? For example, maybe you're working in an asset management role. You should mention the portfolio management you were doing, or regardless of the role, maybe you're doing client marketing. So focus on the specific areas that you're working on. Don't just say you're working for a particular team in a particular company, and you were just helping with admin, something like that. Make sure it sounds good. Make sure you mention some key industry buzzwords. I was working on portfolio management. I was working on client marketing. These are the type of ways you have to word it very nicely. Next up in point 2 here, you need to focus on your main achievements. What did you achieve in that work experience? Were you simply checking in and checking out, clocking in and clocking out each day, coming in on time, leaving on time, attending a few meetings but not doing much work? Well, that's not what you want to communicate in your LinkedIn profile. You should focus on your main achievements. How did you secure a $5 million revenue from your 18 clients, for example? Did you attract more clients? Did you increase profit? How did you do that? Did you create cost savings through efficiencies? Did you come up with new processes, new procedures? How did you help the business? The companies looking to hire you want to see your previous successes and achievements in your previous work experience. Next up, again, you need to focus on your skills. So you talk about the focus areas, what you were responsible for. You talk about some of your main achievements, how you helped the companies you previously worked for, and then you mention the skills. What skills did you develop there, or what skills did you build upon there? Financial modeling skills, financial forecasting skills. Perhaps you developed your skills when it comes to communication and leading client presentations. All of those type of skills you should mention. You should also include a reference, remember, just when you're writing your work experience summary on LinkedIn, you have about a limit of about 2,000 characters or 500 words roughly. So that's plenty of space, I think. You don't need more than 500 words to explain what you did in a previous job role. Focus on the main points here and structure it, as I mentioned, these 3 specific points for your LinkedIn experience summary. And that will give you an easy idea to get to thinking what will help, how to structure it, what to include. It's a nice and easy, quick way to get started writing those LinkedIn experience sections on your LinkedIn profile. Moving on, here is a great example, right? So in my experience summary of my LinkedIn profile, I focused on these specific areas. I followed that 3-step plan I just explained to you, which has been successful, as I say, in attracting the attention of recruiters when it comes to job applications. I mentioned the focus areas, for example, working on risk reviews, marketing material analysis and exchange inquiries, trading stock exchange inquiries. And what I've done here is I've said this is what I'm responsible for, and then my main achievements. I was presenting risk reviews to senior management, so I'm good at dealing with senior stakeholders. I have awareness of the different financial topics, which are also mentioned here, right? So maybe I was aware of, for example, working on bonds, equity, emerging markets, working on loan trading, things like that. So you should focus on some of the key topics you might have covered also. And then next up we have skills. So what skills have I mentioned here? I talk about my presentation skills, my teamwork skills, my analysis skills. So this is how you should roughly structure your LinkedIn experience sections for your previous work experience. I've put it in clear bullet points, so it's a bit easier to see the presentation, teamwork and analysis skills. I've mentioned some of the focus areas, what I was responsible for, and some of my achievements in terms of interacting with senior management. This is a very brief way of doing it, and I've kept this example brief, so you just have the key points. And of course you can add a bit more detail when you are writing your LinkedIn experience section, because of course you have that 500 word limit for each company you worked for. So this is a great idea. Feel free to pause this, have a quick look at your LinkedIn profile and see if you can take any of the hints and tips I've shared with you already. In this example, we have a scenario where let me just give you a name, Jasmine Hazel. She worked at Credit Suisse Private Banking as a summer analyst, and she's a bilingual Harvard finance student. And this is her LinkedIn experience section, and I've highlighted some key points, so you can use this as a template when you're writing your LinkedIn experience section. As part of my internship team at Credit Suisse, I co-presented a private bank growth strategy plan, which was well received by the chief operating officer and the resourcing team. The topics covered included outreach to clients in developing markets such as MENA and LATAM, with greater collaboration with legacy European-based teams to create a streamlined product offering approach. So lots of words there, but let's focus on the three things I mentioned before. What are her focus areas? What are her main achievements? And what are her main skills? So some of the main focus areas: she was responsible for the growth strategy plan in private banking. So she was given a good level of responsibility there, coming up with business growth strategy. She was responsible for other things that we see here when it comes to being aware of clients in developing markets, such as MENA, which is Middle East, North Africa, and LATAM, which is Latin America. So these growing developing markets. So she has awareness of that. And then what were some of her main achievements, right? Some of her main achievements was interacting with senior management, like the chief operating officer, the resourcing team, and other senior stakeholders. So she has that good level of interacting with senior people. And then also lots of skills are mentioned here. She has the client outreach skills. She has good client relationship management skills. You can see here in the second point. She understands that the global financial market by working with MENA and LATAM, Middle East and Latin America. So she understands global financial markets. And then the business change of legacy to streamline products. So she has basically understood, in the last line you can see on your screen right now, she has understood how to make processes more efficient by streamlining a product, by looking at product offering. What are we offering clients? Are we offering them too many products? Is it a bit confusing? How can we simplify the products we offer our clients? How can we make our marketing more easy to follow by only having fewer products and offering them to broader group of clients? So these are all of the type of things you can say in your LinkedIn experience section. And as you can see here, you only need to, even if you have limited words, you can only see a few sentences. There's maybe 2 or 3 sentences on your screen right now. You can say a lot in very few words. So I'd recommend you use this as an example and improve your LinkedIn experience section. Next up, this is the third point in terms of her experience in the same example. So her strong teamwork and communication skills allowed her to secure additional off-cycle internship in the trading division, which is further described in a separate section of her LinkedIn profile. So why would you mention this in your experience section? Of course, you mentioned the skills developed, teamwork, communication skills, all very important skills to have. And then it's showing the payoff. It's showing the achievement here. She was an intern, so she wasn't necessarily going to get a job offer, but she got an additional internship, an off-cycle internship, which means, compared to a summer internship, off-cycle means a 6-month internship. So she managed to secure a longer internship, which reflects that they're good at doing their job. So anything that reflects that you've achieved this, you've been rewarded with this, rewarded with a promotion, maybe you manage a team, things like that. All these things you should include in your particular LinkedIn experience section as much as you can. So I'll just summarize again. When you're writing your LinkedIn experience section, focus on your the focus areas, what you're responsible for, your main achievements, who you interacted with, maybe you achieved some business goals, the skills you have, like we mentioned here, teamwork, communication, and then of course anything that you've achieved that will achieved in terms of your career. So you can have achievements in terms of the business, helping them generate profit, achievements in terms of your career, getting an internship, an additional internship, getting a promotion, things like that. Always include all those details in your LinkedIn experience section. Now we have moving on to section 2. Now section 2 is about your LinkedIn remarkable recommendations. To quote Robert Greene from the 48 Laws of Power, reputation is the cornerstone of power. Now what do we mean by this? This means that your reputation means a lot, right? Before your hard work means anything, or any product you produced means anything, or the company you've worked for means anything, the reputation you have in the industry, how your co-workers describe you, how your managers describe you, and even going back to school, how your teachers and university lecturers describe you, are all very important things. So on your LinkedIn profile, you can add recommendations, right? Where other LinkedIn users, you can send them a link, they log in, and they will leave a brief recommendation on your profile, an endorsement of your abilities. Maybe a former manager will say, they'll type a few sentences, you're good at doing your job, you achieved this at the company, and also you're great at having certain skills. And these type of things will help you when it comes to applying for future jobs. It shows people are vouching for your ability. Okay, so receiving recommendations from co-workers, previous co-workers, managers, university lecturers, teachers, and so on will be a massive boost to your credibility. It shows you're good at representing yourself professionally, impressing others, and you'd be a great asset to any company you're applying for. Now we're moving on to understanding how to request a recommendation. Firstly, when it comes to recommendation, you want to source positive feedback from any authority figure, a university lecturer, or a manager perhaps at a job role. When you reach out to them and ask them for their recommendation, try to pick a convenient time, maybe ask them for a coffee catch-up, things like that, so that they're aware that you want to, if you're dealing with a senior manager, you're asking them to log into LinkedIn, give you an approval, like a recommendation. It takes time out their day, and you might not be their number one priority. So try to pick a convenient time when they're not so busy to ask them and get this recommendation added to your profile. Now, you need to be able to send reminders, right? Many times people are very busy. Again, your recommendation on LinkedIn is not their number one priority. So send them a few reminders after, say, a few days or a few weeks I would say give it 2 to 3 days, send them a reminder, maybe give it a week, send them another reminder, and send them an email with all the details of how to log into LinkedIn, give you a recommendation, and it will take a few minutes. So it's good to chase people on this so you do get those recommendations, because it's very important. Now, part 2 of requesting a recommendation, as you can see, if you go on your profile, there's an option to ask for a recommendation. And then you can just search for the particular name of the contact, your former manager's name on LinkedIn, and it should load up and they'll get sent a message to give you a recommendation. And this is some more detailed explanation. I just thought it's easy to give you a screenshot of this so you can have a quick look and just follow that and get that done now. If you want to pause the video, feel free to do that. Now, let's move on to what makes a good LinkedIn recommendation. Now, you can use this example, of course, when you are providing recommendations to others and trying to help their career and LinkedIn profile, but also when you are asking people to give you a recommendation for your LinkedIn profile, just remember some of these key points, right, that I'm going to mention here. So when you do get those recommendations, they are actually what you want. They do mention they do tick the right boxes. They mention the key things that we always are looking for when it comes to a recommendation. Not only us as individuals on our LinkedIn profiles, but also our hiring managers and recruiters. They want to see certain things when it comes to a recommendation. And I'll cover that using this example, and make sure you get these type of, you tick the right boxes when it comes to your own recommendations. So in this case, we have a recommendation from Chris Dixon, who's the co-lead of EM sales at JP Morgan, and he's giving a recommendation on the LinkedIn profile for Harold Stevens. Harold Stevens has proved to be an excellent sales assistant for the EM sales team at JP Morgan during an off-cycle internship. He has assisted in preparing market color commentary on a weekly basis. He has reviewed marketing material presentations for any aesthetic or numerical updates, and taken detailed meeting notes for our client catch-ups. So this person is quite junior. They're a sales assistant. They're doing some admin tasks, taking down client meeting notes, preparing and changing some marketing material for clients, some PowerPoint slides, and they produce some market color on a weekly basis. So giving the clients a brief overview of the news in the market, in the financial markets. And they've worked at the internship level. So what does it mention here? What are the key points in this recommendation that help it stand out? It mentions their sales skills. It mentions they understand they have expertise in some specific areas like EM, which stands for emerging markets. So they have a finance niche that they're very skilled in. They've worked for top companies such as JP Morgan, and they've completed several relevant tasks that are relevant to future job roles. They produce market color, which is brief news summaries of finance news for clients. They've prepared presentations, which are marketing the business's financial product offering to clients. And they've been involved in attending client meetings, so they're good at interacting with clients. They have those sales skills. They're taking meeting notes, so they're keeping track of what's going on in the business. So that's very important. It shows a broad skill range, and these are the type of things you should mention. The skills developed, any special expertise you have, any top companies you worked for, and what tasks you were completing on a regular basis, any top achievements, things like that. So make sure you try and source these recommendations as pointed out here. That was a short section. And now we're moving on to section 3, how to write awesome LinkedIn articles that allow you to go viral on the LinkedIn platform and attract attention from senior stakeholders in your own industry. And so this will ensure that if you're writing great articles, you're always a topic of debate within the industry, you're raising interesting points, people like reading your articles, you will be the first person in mind. When they're looking to hire someone for the company, recruiters, hiring managers, they'll remember you as that frequent poster online on LinkedIn who's producing excellent LinkedIn articles, showing your expertise and giving some valuable help to anyone reading those in terms of understanding perhaps financial markets or the industry in general. So we're getting started with section 3 here. Now, why should you write a LinkedIn article? This will help you rise above your peers by boosting your credibility and expertise in the industry. It will showcase your ability and your thought process and the quality of work you can produce if you are going to work for a future company. And it will generate a discussion with recruiters or help you with future interviews. Because when you're researching and writing a LinkedIn article, you're understanding the industry better, you can describe that better in your job interviews, you're focusing on up-to-date relevant topics, so it'll really help you stand out from the competition. And as I say, become a household name or a frequent name people see in the industry on LinkedIn. So people will be keen to reach out to you, especially recruiters and hiring managers. Moving on to the next slide. The next slide shows you where you can find the writing article function. Just go on to the home page. You can see the section where you can start a post. You can click write an article and then it will load up with this screen. You can see in the right corner of your screen where you can add a headline, include article details, type up an article, include some images, some editing. It's quite a nice and easy tool to use, so I wouldn't be intimidated by it. If you have an idea for a LinkedIn article, and I'll give you some ideas shortly, definitely go ahead and write a few to show your expertise in the industry. Wow, that was a good transition. So I'm going to help you select an article topic. Now, it's important when you're selecting an article topic to write on LinkedIn that you select a niche topic and you address it in a targeted way. So you're not saying something that's extremely broad. You're focusing on current relevant topics. What are people talking about in your industry? Maybe it's algo trading, which has recently been very popular in finance, or NFTs, which is popular in crypto and, of course, in the finance industry too, in terms of investing, buying and selling those, dealing with the popularity of those and the price volatility being quite great. One day they're worth millions, the next day they're worth, tens of dollars. So it's quite interesting topics to cover, and people will be interested in reading this, sharing it with others, and sharing your expertise in that process. Now, the one thing I would say, though, is that you would want to make sure that you're not including any topic that is generic or aged. Don't talk about the global financial crisis from 2008. Don't talk about just generally technology and finance. That's too broad. You need something more specific. So a bit more detail, as you can see the good examples on your screen, mentioning algo trading or NFTs. These are targeted topics, not just broadly finance and technology. That's too broad. Next up, you need to research the article topic. You need to thoroughly research the topic you want to write about in your LinkedIn article. You want to show your deep understanding, mention key details, identify any popular topics on LinkedIn. If you're not sure of a topic, you can have a look on LinkedIn, do a bit of research there, or read the latest news in the industry, and then review different opinions and include your own view. So, for example, if you're writing an article about accounting regulation, right? Because there's been lots of change in accounting regulation. Do a bit of research. What do the accountants think online? What do the various accounting firms think? What do taxpayers think? What does the government think? Why was the accounting regulation changed? So you think about this from different perspectives and you summarize and share your view. So that will help you write the article, understand it better, do lots of research online to understand how this is perceived from different perspectives. An accounting firm or an accountant might see it as a good change, but the government and the taxpayer might see it differently. So it's interesting when you do this research and include different perspectives. Here are some amazing article ideas, right? So you can write an article on LinkedIn about investment banking and IPO opportunities in the healthcare sector. IPO stands for initial public offering. You can talk about niche private healthcare companies, and you could say they've got these new healthcare ideas, they want to go public, they need investment, they want to be on the stock exchange. You can talk a bit about analysis there. You can talk about sales and trading. If you want to work in sales and trading, you can talk about the cost benefit analysis of remote work in terms of sales and trading. What are the benefits of working from home? What are the costs of working from home in terms of traders? They need to focus, so they don't mind working from home in a quiet environment. But salespeople, they need to interact with clients, so they prefer not to be working at home. They want to be in the office, they want to be meeting with clients. So there's a cost benefit analysis to be considered here. Now, the last point is hedge fund performance during volatile markets and what lessons could be learned. So, what lessons can we learn about the hedge fund performance during volatile markets? So if you want to work for hedge funds, you can talk about how hedge funds have performed in the last few years when financial markets have been very volatile. Sometimes they're hitting the very highest price they've had, and then they're dropping dramatically due to lots of other issues in the world right now, as you probably are aware, in the last few years. So if you want to apply for hedge fund companies, make sure you do some research about the top 5 hedge funds, how they're performing, what is their strategy. They disclose all these things publicly on their website, so you can have a read of that. Now we've got 4 more examples of excellent LinkedIn articles you can write to go viral, show your expertise. If you're applying for private equity, you can talk about private equity investment opportunities for CBD therapy. I'm sure you're aware of CBD. It's a CBD oil. It can be used for various health purposes. So there's some companies, private equity companies, that want to invest in these CBD startup companies. So you might want to mention that a bit on your LinkedIn article if you want to apply for private equity. Talk about where they want to invest and the cost and benefits of that. Management consultancy, if you want to work for a management consultant like KPMG, and we've used these strategies successfully, as I say at the start, so KPMG, Deloitte, things like that. You might want to talk about how you want to be a management consultant for a major bank. Many of these top banks, they hire companies like KPMG and Deloitte as management consultants to improve their processes. So you might want to say, you might want to write a LinkedIn article talking about how you want to improve the onboarding processes for new clients and how to make it more efficient by understanding all the different teams that work on that. As an independent management consultant, maybe you want to talk about how you have onboarding teams, you have admin teams, you have the sales team, you have risk teams. How do they help onboard a new client? So this could be an interesting topic to cover. Next up, accounting, recent regulation and recent regulatory changes. So there's been many changes in accounting recently. If you're applying for accounting roles at the top 4 accounting firms, have a quick read online about accounting changes in 2022 and 2023, or whichever year you're watching this in, and include a brief summary of what the accounting regulation is, how you think it could impact financial markets or impact the accounting department, the accounting industry. So say there's a new regulation that wants accountants to do more work manually rather than rely on automated solutions for accounting. Then you could talk about how accounting firms may need to hire more people and rely less on technology. It could impact the cost of accounting. It could impact the amount of clients that want to have accounting services because it's more costly, because you have more employees being hired. So there's so many different topics you could cover. And then, of course, if you're looking to work at crypto in terms of cryptocurrency firms, cryptocurrency exchanges, there could be challenges you want to mention. What are the challenges to cryptocurrency industry? Barriers to entry, which means how easy it is to understand, how easy it is to invest in it. Do clients understand it? Do major companies understand it? Then also you could mention other challenges, maybe money laundering challenges, tracking payments, paying taxes, all sorts of things you could consider in terms of that. Now, well done. Thanks for listening to all the sections we've talked through so far. I'm going to give you the next steps to boost your career. And I hope you're ready for your 250k finance career. I'm going to explain to you next how you can do this for yourself. We help finance professionals, young professionals, any professional looking to get into the finance industry, to get a good paying finance job as quick as possible through our career training services, our career courses. without any hassle in terms of excess time, excess energy, all the stress that comes with applying for jobs and pursuing a career in finance. We help take all that stress out by helping make things extra easy for you. We use our proven techniques, which I shared before, have been very successful at top banks and so on. And our unique approach to these type of things in terms of career consulting, career coaching, and securing the job you want at the end of the day. This is something we've studied carefully. We've put together over 10 years of experience to make sure it works, and we will be happy to help you, as you can see on the next screen. In option 1, if you want to move your career forward, we offer a LinkedIn Leverage Masterclass, which is about a 5-hour training with over 50 examples in terms of great experience sections for your LinkedIn profile, great sections when it comes to writing your work, writing your experience, your education, how to structure your LinkedIn profile, what type of wording to use, what recruiters are looking for. These are all covered in this LinkedIn Leverage Masterclass. Option 1 could be the option for you, and the links are in the description. In the bonus for this particular course, included in this course over 5 hours long, talking you through writing a LinkedIn profile, you receive over 50 examples of those top profiles. On top of that, you get a LinkedIn article writing guide. I go through in detail in a video format how to write articles for LinkedIn. So it'll be very easy to follow, very good thing for you to pursue if you're looking to improve your LinkedIn profile, if you are looking for a high paying job. Option 2, this is more of a bespoke service. We offer a tailor-made service where I would be happy to write your professional resume, cover letter, or LinkedIn profile and help you secure that fantastic 250,000 finance career. So this professional writing service is if you want something done for you, and I'll be happy to do that. Option 3 is a free career call with myself, Economics Ethan. You'll have 15 minutes free to discuss any of your career questions with myself, Economics Ethan. And also, as part of this service, I offer a free book in terms of 10 lessons from 10 years in investment banking. These are all covered for free, as I say. So option 3 is completely free. There's a link in the description. Just click through and I'll be happy to speak with you and help you with your career prospects. So there you go. Those are the 3 options. So select one of these 3 options. All links in the video description. So you can have a look there, and I look forward to helping you with your career growth. Thanks for listening. See you next time.